Welcome everyone. As you can see on our screen, we have like a full house and first time ever, everyone representing one club, which is Chelsea currently. And as you know from our descriptions and our social media, we'll be and whatever has been going on since the last 24 hours, Roman Abramovich has decided to sell Chelsea. The rumors have come true, and I'm pretty sure whatever happens, as a Chelsea fan, none of us are happy. No, I can't say happy as such, but we are shocked because as an owner, we consider him one of the best owners in world football. So we'll be discussing more on this with Soham, Prasanna, Ankit. But before we move on to our discussions, obviously you may have seen Ankit before on a show who has his own channel. So we have tagged him and everything. So don't forget to visit his channel. At the same time, Prasanna also has a channel. He already released a video last night regarding the whole situation. So do give it a view as well. And Soham from Chelsea Thane Blues, who we had last week itself for the Liverpool game, and he's back again. So Soham, let's begin with you firstly. Obviously, it may have been a bit tougher for all of us considering Liverpool loss after a brilliant performance. Rumors already going around that Roman Abramovich might sell the club, and it became true. Your thoughts on that?
See, it's absolutely shocking, first of all. It's shocking. But if you look at a broader picture, he has put the club forward than his personal interest. That sets him apart than any other individual. If any other individual would have been, he would have put himself his interest first, then the club's interest. What
Yeah.
we have seen in the past. So that's have set him apart. So for letting him for him to say that I don't want the money which Chelsea owes me, that's a big thing. No other owner
Uh,
could.
and plus the proceedings, he's saying that will be donated to a charity, a fund which is
Exactly.
specifically set up for the Ukraine people who have lost their lives, and that's a big thing considering what he and Chelsea have had to hear from especially the English media. I mean,
Uh,
we always knew that Chelsea and a couple of other clubs were never favorites of the English media. Whatever happened, Chelsea was one of the forefront runners. Just
See, I can
yeah,
just interrupt here saying that, see, what all good we do, people do not understand that. Be it coronavirus, be it giving the entire hotel millennium to the healthcare professionals, or be it not flowing the entire salary of people, of the employees who work. Not even a groundsman salary was cut. That
yeah,
speaks the volume. When people were cutting down salaries, when people are cutting down on the cost, this man stood up for them, saying that I will pay their salary. I'll save I'll not my put my profit aside. I'll put my profit aside, but I'll help the people who are affected by
yeah.
this.
Funding the
So that
NHS during
uh,
the tough times in COVID, and
and if it,
people
and if
somehow
this is a
manage to turn it out, but they
and if
turn
this
it
is a
around always.
and if this is a behavior, if English media shows, I really doubt that the English media doesn't lacks class. Honestly speaking, they do
I
not.
mean, let's
They
just
have.
continue this topic like with Ankit as well. Like we heard Alan Shearer, we heard Gary Lineker, we heard Micah Richards, especially Alan Shearer, who's on like that is what is going on Twitter right now. Like sort of a small thing going on between Chelsea fans and Alan Shearer as well, whose
Yeah,
club got bought by Saudi owners who already have much you know things going behind scenes. Like we
exactly.
can't even speak on that. So your thoughts on that?
See, as in, first of all, great to discuss with you all. And thanks for having me. But for me, like, yes, you can speak as much as you want, Alan Shearer or anyone it is. Uh, it would have been great. Like, let's put in a hypothetical situation. If Newcastle wasn't bought, that they did this year, as in, things might have been totally different. And I don't think those kind of words would have been uttered. And that is something that okay, I can still give the benefit of doubt because of the fact that they are in a certain situation right now, and they have an opportunity. And we know as Chelsea, as we are carefree, but the rest of the world hates us. Most of them, in fact, like if you have to
Yeah,
ask any person on the road, they'll probably opt for that. Like, what I would say about all this thing is about Roman Abramovich. I think probably uh, the news has to be basically be focused on him, the person, rather than just the owner. As in, he's someone that literally loved football, That's the main thing, and he loves football. He adores football to the core. I think the moment he had taken over football, like you remember, I'm pretty sure we had that game against Liverpool where Gronkia scored, and that was basically the time when Chelsea was in a difficult situation. We were not doing really anything in the league, to be very honest. We were a cup team, so as to speak, and we really needed someone who can take us to the next level. First few years, we thought it was Mourinho, and yes, Mourinho was absolutely fantastic, a club legend. He will always be the best manager in history for us. But I think over the years, we need to kind of respect the fact as Chelsea fans and even neutrals, hopefully, that he's someone. Roman Abramovich is someone who actually changed the DNA of the club. He built the DNA. Yes, he was ruthless in the way that he was always. But the fact that let's actually take us for example. If I play a game of FIFA, I hate losing. I hate losing. I know it's
Yeah,
a very hypothetical example. I don't think it doesn't make sense. But I think Roman Abramovich is that competitor. He actually loves winning, and that winning mentality, even the people that he sanctioned about the transfers in, etc., everyone you see had motivation to do something. It's not about yes, there were a lot of big stars coming in, but they had something unproven, unfinished, that he actually sanctioned for them to come in. It was basically a team effort. And the way he has given confidence to I think Lampard, Czech, Marina. From what I know, Marina Granovskaya
yeah.
was actually a
Marina and
non-footballing.
Bruce Buck will also leave
Exactly.
Chelsea.
And yeah, Bruce Buck, yeah. One thing I would say, like again, he trusted people who have been there in the system for a long time. At the same time, he gave a lot of responsibility, a sense of empowerment. Trust me, any other owner, I would have really doubted in a transfer ban, appointing Lampard, things could have gone the other way around. When I saw that first
Yeah,
team sheet against Manchester United under Lampard, trust me, I feared that it'll be probably worse or equal to what 2016 we did, right, under Jose Mourinho. That was what I was
yeah,
fearing. But again, that level of trust is something that he has been able to do that, and he's a risk taker. We need to really commend him. Even now, we saw as in it all transpired within a day. Things were different. I think 48 hours ago there was a club statement about I think about the stewardship, etc., which now I think
yeah,
has been taken back because of obvious reasons. Because I don't think they accept it. But the fact that it changed again within 24 hours, as soon as the House of Commons happened yesterday, as in then he went on basically the club's website and got it published. He doesn't care. Like, he is a risk taker. He makes decisions quickly, and I think one of the statements was he's one of the best owners. Beneath, he is the best
yeah.
owner period in football. I don't see any other owner like this who loves football, and it was his baby. So that is the only thing which I see, that we can only go backwards from here, at least for the time being. Maybe in the long run we get someone like him, but I don't see in the foreseeable future someone like him.
Yeah, and it's not only about what he has done for the senior men's team. It's
Yeah,
the way he had developed the academy, the women's team who
women's
reached
team
the
exactly.
Champions League final last season, and something clicked the moment he came on. Like, even we saw Prasanna, you may have also retweeted that John Terry, I think, released a video when he was retiring, or when we won the title actually. He thanked Roman Abramovich. He specifically said a lot of money was put in, but it's not the money that matters, but the heart he put in for the club, the love he has for the club, the passion he has for the club. And I think we can see that the way the club was run. Yes, everyone criticizes, just hire and fire strategy and stuff. And you can see how successful Chelsea was with Roman Abramovich. You can see Premier League titles. We can see FA Cup, League Cups, Community Shield as well. I mean, and obviously to cap it off, and I think sort of everything came a circle when we won the Club World Cup this month, and that was the only trophy which was missing in his cabinet or his club. And I think on this note he leaves. I think so. Obviously, like Ankit, you mentioned, one of the greatest owners or one of the best owners of world football. Forget about Chelsea, of world football. So, Prasanna, your thoughts on Roman Abramovich? If you had to say a few words.
Yeah, every club fan, so to say, the criticizes the way that we have been doing the way for the past few years. They would happily take him in their club. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
if you asked most of the fans, would you take this trophy haul in the last few years? They would snap your hand off. They
and it's
and
not only about uh, pumping money into the club and
Absolutely.
winning trophies. Like I'm not criticizing City or something, but you see the likes of City and PSG, they have still failed to win a European trophy. Leagues aside, obviously they are dominant in their respective leagues, brilliant clubs, but you see that something is not right. You see their the whole culture of the club. Sometimes some things don't click, and then Chelsea. Everyone criticizes Chelsea, sometimes rightly so, but we can see the trophies, we can see the results, we can see the benefit of the long term of the investment in academy. So we can just take it forward from
See,
there, I
I
think.
can, if I may, just one, kind of point in this that I have. I think the difference between Roman and the rest of the owners that you mentioned about, again, no disrespect to other clubs, but the fact that I think City, PSG, etc. Yes, they have owners present in the stadiums at a lot of times, but I think the emotion. I know he wasn't there, by the way, last couple of years in England, and that is in itself an example of him just having the belief, trust in Chelsea and the people who were running the club. But I think whenever he was there, and he was almost there in every match previously, whether it was him, his son, someone from the family, and he actually, gave it out on the pitch, and he clearly celebrated with the players a lot of times when we won cups. His involvement was much more than that. I think, back in the day, we remember, like, when he came in newly. The very first year we won, I think, a couple of trophies. That is when I think he spent a lot of
Yeah,
time with Terry Lampard, Czechs of the world, and that is when a relationship was built, and that kind of camaraderie is there, that respect is there. I think Aspilicueta, the Champions League, first thing he did was, no, this is your trophy. He actually, went and actually gave him the trophy.
yeah,
So those are different. So because I'm kind of seeing the Ken Bates era towards the end. He was never that. He was never that. Like, I'm just kind of, I can compare only with what we had in Chelsea, right? He was never that at all. As much as he was a savior, he bought the club for £1 back in the day. But again, he was never that people's man. And even when we lost, and Roman Abramovich, I remember, like, you could see the disappointment, but he didn't show it enough. So that was ideal. He's a great, as in an owner, a manager, and I think he was in the backdrop a lot of times. He didn't come out with statements. He's a very shy individual. He hardly came out with any interviews during the entire 19-year period, and he just gave it, to the manager and the coach and the management, right? And that is something that we need to respect. And that's the thing. If in case we get a consortium, 100% that's not going to happen.
yeah. Prasanna, your thoughts when you read the statement, and obviously it was like a sudden thing which came out just before Chelsea's lineup was released. So what were your emotions that time?
It still hasn't sunk in. Let's all put it that it still has not. I have not still digested the fact that he's not going to be our owner anymore. That the fact that he's
Yeah,
selling the club. And to be honest, for most of us fans, yesterday's game was kind of irrelevant compared to what the news was.
yeah.
Even if we lost, no one would have kind of complained, because if we ourselves are feeling like this, imagine the players in that situation. They would have definitely heard one or other part of the news. And just before a game like that, knockout game, that's not what you want to hear. And like Ankit also mentioned,
But
like,
but sorry, Prasanna, to cut you off. But now let's look at the other side of it. Do you think? I mean, sort of critical. Maybe if we go on the other side. Do you think the timing of the announcement was poor? Because we know how much Tuchel hates outside noise, if we may call it. And then just before the lineup was released, Abramovich's statement comes out officially. Do you think it could have been made a couple of hours later?
I mean, at any point, if you would have made that, you would have still received the same. You would have still received like the same reaction. That's pretty obvious. Whether it be now, whether it be tomorrow, whether it be towards the end of the season, or maybe even 2 seasons later, this would have still met with the same reaction. So the fact that we all love him so much, and I don't even know how he sounds like. That's the thing. He never speaks. Him or even Marina for that matter. I've never heard them speak. So, and that's the thing. And he's there at every single game. He's not in front of a men's team. He's there at women's games. We saw him talking to Mahez after the Champions League final, or even once when they played Israel at a friendly once. And he's there at Youth Cup finals. I remember him and Conte sitting in an FA Youth Cup final. I think it was one time.
Yeah.
Not sure of the exact year, but they were there at one time. And you look at all the managers that have come in and the number of finals has reached. Managers come and change, but but ambition is just one thing: to win trophies. You look at how many finals we have reached over the last few years. Forget about whether we have won that or we have lost many finals, but just to get there, 2017, 19, 20, 21, we have had different managers, but the common goal is one thing: to win trophies. And that
Yeah,
has never changed in these 19 years. And hope that will not change when the new ownership comes in. There are obviously some few names thrown around here and there, but remains to be seen who actually comes in. But more than Roman leaving, I'm kind of sad that Marina is also leaving, because she was the one who was running the club in Roman's absence. The
No, but
contract
is she?
negotiations, the
I think just now,
deals were
so
done.
sorry, just now there
And
was
then
a
just
tweet.
one,
I
let me
think.
just finish this.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
please, please.
yeah. So just the contract negotiations, all the kit sponsors, all the deals, all she did. I mean, there are some ridiculous deals she has done just in terms of player sales. And I
yeah,
mean, who is going to come in that position, and all of that is going to change from top to bottom. So we are shocked that this regime is leaving, but kind of excitement too that who's going to come in and who's going to do the job. We can just hope that they do well, but you just have to wait and see.
yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm
Ankit,
saying.
you are
Like,
saying something.
yeah.
Yeah,
So a couple of things, right? One thing is like Marina. Still, there is basically there are bids going on. By the way, there is a deadline put for the bids that are going to be accepted or not. Based on the current bids, as per Mat law, Marina Granovskaya is still facing a dilemma. There is one group which is okay with having her and understand that how important she is, whereas there might be other groups may not be. At the same time, she has been an ally for I think Roman Abramovich even before football. So that is something that I think she's considering herself. Plus the fact that I think like we saw with Daniel Fark in Ukraine, he's actually I think resigned from Krasnodar if I'm not wrong. Similarly, Marina also has pressure, of course, from her friends and family about what similarly what Roman had. On the other hand, the point that you mentioned about the timing, Vinny, I would like to say that, like I mentioned earlier, there was a House of Commons. So in UK, what happens is just like a parliament session, you have a House of Commons, and where there was literally a scene yesterday where they made sure that the topic doesn't go ahead, and they created a big fuss out of it, and it was very clear that if nothing is not done, there will be major opposition, major sanctions, and that was a threat given openly in front of obviously everyone was watching in UK. So that
yeah.
happened, and that is why he couldn't have even waited for a single day, and he had to basically release it, because at least if people know that okay, he's giving it up, they might not take as urgent sanctions, but which now again might be other way around. Now it seems it'll take a few weeks, so I don't know where it stands.
And just by everyone watching, it's not that we are supporting anything what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. It just we are talking about Roman Abramovich as an owner of a club he used to love. That's it about that is what we are just going to talk about. Obviously, our hearts go out to people in Ukraine. What is happening is not what look it's like very bad to see if I put it in simple words. So we are not justifying any of that. It just Roman Abramovich as a person, as an owner of the club is what you are discussing today. So obviously you like even Prasanna mentioned there are a few names thrown around, and Marina possibly leaving now, like Ankit mentioned, pressure on. But do you think this is a good chance to get a proper director of football at the club, which Chelsea like fans as well felt that we lacked a lot in the recent seasons with all the signings and whatever have happened? Do you think this is a good chance to get in a director of football?
Marina was doing an excellent job, no doubt, and I do agree to that statement. But Marina has done an excellent job, which she has done at Chelsea. Imagine bringing Kai Havertz, who was quoted some rough around millions, then Lukaku. She has done business. It's not like that. She is a key figure. She has to be involved in this club, because if she is involved, we are rest assured that the deals will be happening, and at least we can
Yeah,
get some kind of breakthrough deals and at a lower price. We won't shell out extra money, which we did earlier, spending 34 million on players like Bakayoko or something like Drinkwater, which we spent lavishly 30 million for a player who didn't raise to his potential.
Yeah.
So, so that's what no, so that is important at this level. If you have Marina, she understands the football, she understands the negotiation skills very well, and she's an excellent negotiator. So she shouldn't leave. If she leaves
But
it,
like Prasanna mentioned now, there were some poor signings, like you named a couple, Bakayoko, Drinkwater. At some extent, at times, we question Barkley as well. And, these signings were made when Conte was here, when Marina was there. And, these deals don't justify what has happened to them, because the way now, right now, the new management which might come in, like Prasanna again mentioned, it will be tough for them to get rid of these players. Marina hasn't gotten rid of them because obviously, from a business point of view, she can't take a big loss for the club. Like you
yeah,
signed Bakayoko for 35 million, you can't sell him for almost 5-10 million right now,
yeah.
regardless of the way he has performed. So
Although
I
we are
think
taking him loan fees for him though, like small amounts, 2 million one, like something like that. We are
that
kind
I
of.
think immediately goes into the salaries of few players a couple of weeks. So
See, but
See, the
without
top thing about sorry, I think Marina's is a greatest asset, if I'm not wrong, is the fact that she's a top negotiator. I think that's what
yeah,
she's known for. Like I said, she wasn't in the footballing space a few years ago, so she was fairly new. If you remember when Emenalo was actually gotten rid of, there was literally Chelsea fan base was split in two, right? And there was a section who was saying that okay, he is the person who is going to be the future of football because of the fact that he had set up that loan academy. He's
yeah,
the
yeah.
person, the loan army and
The
academy. Of
whole
course, there was
Cobham thing he set up, and
correct. And
yeah,
and there was a person from a totally non-footballing background like Marina coming in because Emenalo was also a former player, by the way, right? So it kind
yeah,
of counts for something. And this was a totally new face coming in. We didn't know anything about her. First year in terms of transfers, I agree there have been a lot of question marks. But I think the fact that we were able to get rid of Morata at the price that we did was something I think no one in
yeah,
the world has done it. So there are things that I think Marina brings that no one brings, and that's unique negotiating ability. See, sometimes in an administration setup, you need both the kinds of people, right? You need a total non-footballing person as well to be able to do that. I don't think a footballing person will be able to negotiate as much because somewhere down the line you are having that a public figure image. So you wouldn't Petr Cech, who's been touted as probably the next main director of football for Chelsea. I have a slight concern there because of the same reason. I rather have someone who's not coming from that footballing space would be able to do that.
yeah. So like, what do you think it will mean for Chelsea now going ahead?
in what sense are you talking about here now?
Anything. So like, uh, Chelsea has always been known as a club who bought success. Chelsea sort of became alive in 2003 when Chelsea was bought by Roman Abramovich, who pumped in billions of money. Before that, sort of everyone thinks that Chelsea are non-existent. How do you see the sale now going forward and the future of Chelsea, regardless of the owner current?
See, regardless of who becomes our owner is irrelevant over here right now. The fact of the matter is that what all we have achieved in the last 19 or 20 odd years with Roman cannot be numbered. That's the biggest thing. And going forward, it has to be an upward thing. Otherwise, I don't think so. We are going to fall downwards. But let's see the broader picture who the new owner is, what his ideas are, what kind of passion he brings in. Because see, Roman was a total true blue man. Name a
Yeah,
match, he's there. Name a cup tournament, he is there cheering for his team. Name anything, he is there. He's your go-through man for everything. But as he has gone, we have lost one passionate true blue member today.
yeah,
I honestly feel that if Roman decides to sell, the fans base is going to be split because many of the people who have started supporting Chelsea are after Roman who has taken over because they know what Roman has brought. But for us who have before Roman, we know what kind of our club was from Ken Bates era, rightly said by Ankit, where Ken Bates did not do a single thing good for the club. Where Roman just changed the entire way the club dimension looks like, be it youth football, ha- establishing its own academy, spending money from his own pockets and all. He has done everything for the club. He has given his heart and soul for the club. And if he is going, I really doubt our standards are hit.
Yeah, see,
because
I think
then
that's a great point, Soham, because I think you mentioned about like Ken Bates, for example. Like that's a comparison. Ken Bates, I would say, like the image that Chelsea started building towards the end of Ken Bates' era was actually there because there was a prominence about he was getting a lot of players getting sanctioned who were in the twilight of their careers. So those people were coming in, and that built a brand image in itself, which was able to us just be exposed to the outside world much more than what we were. But at the same time, I think it's about the players today as
And
well.
you can even see on screen that the quality of coaches Chelsea had under Roman
Yeah,
Abramovich. You obviously see Tuchel, who has been massively successful. You see even Roberto Di Matteo, who won us our maiden Champions League. You see Jose Mourinho, Ancelotti, and Goose Hiddink, who was like the perfect interim manager whenever needed. I mean, I think he was underrated a lot. And obviously,
yeah,
see
yeah, for
Antonio
sure, for
Conte.
sure.
So, just the quality,
Sorry, who
the
won his
brand,
first trophy with us.
yeah, the
sorry.
brand, brand Chelsea became under Roman Abramovich. I think, the trophies and the number of coaches, the quality of coaches we see, I think that, just shows everything currently.
See,
Maybe
I
that's
can
why I
just tell
want
you,
the players to stay. Sorry, yeah, go so
I
go
can
ahead.
I can just tell you one thing. The 2000 era, the late 2000, belonged to Chelsea because we changed the world football forever. Because it was Roman who decided the terms. Because still then, no one knew about such a person who can come up and do such kind of investments in a football team and bring success. I didn't see Real
Yeah,
Madrid doing. I saw Real Madrid in 2002, but Real Madrid from
the
2002,
Galacticos. Yeah,
the
Yeah,
Galacticos era. But since 2002 to 2010 or to 11, they were not that successful. But Roman came up in 2004 till 2021. He 2022, sorry. He has been the most successful owner. He has beaten the likes of what do you call Papa Perez, Florentino Perez, and all these people. So that's what it sets apart. Because see, Roman changed the world's football for good. Because people then understood that how the business is done. Because before that, there was no business model in football. It was all about just sign karo, win trophies, that's it. But now people know how a team has to function.
yeah. Prasanna, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, and not just not just what I said. I mean, I remember people telling about the first 2004-5, all those times when he used to go into the pubs, say, talk with the fans and all, and he used to tell
Yeah,
to the people over there, you just keep on serving them drinks, and I'll come and settle the bills later. How many people actually do that? That is that's one thing. And now he has transformed what Chelsea were into a decent club. Now we are massive. We are global fan. We are a global club now. Everywhere you go, you will definitely see Chelsea fans, and that is what his legacy will be, from transforming us from somewhere to absolutely on top of the world now. And it is only fitting that after he under his ownership that we have literally won the whole set. I mean,
yeah.
with the Club World Cup winning,
I would
with
like
us
to
winning
add
the
one
Club
more
World
thing.
Cup, and
From being a single official supporters club in the world to have around 500 to 600 official supporters club across the
yeah.
globe. No other no other club can have that many supporters club which we have shared currently in the globe.
Yeah.
Because see, we have supporters club in Africa, then in US, there are multiple in US, then in India, then in Bangladesh, then in Pakistan, then in multiple in Europe, and then there's some small cities if you see in India, especially cities like Jaipur, Thane, where we do not even know people who are that passionate are coming up and supporting Chelsea. And all thanks to Roman because of his kind of influence which he raised in the English media. And with the account of appointment of Jose was a perfect boost for him, and he appointed Jose. That transferred Chelsea future,
Yeah.
because that set the Premier League to broadcast TV rights in India. Because I do not think that the television rights were there for English Premier League before Jose came to India.
But
They were
even
not showing.
now, even talking about it, like obviously what's done is done. But as a fan of the club, we have to move on regardless of how tough it is. I mean, we cannot stop supporting the club we love so much.
Right,
So now,
right.
Ankit, like if you had a chance to, select an owner, who would you prefer right now? I mean, it's obviously like random names have been thrown around currently, but if
right.
you had someone, Who would
Yeah.
that be?
See, as in again talking about names that I'm hearing, obviously Ratcliffe has already said no. As in a spokesperson of Ratcliffe, rather he's the I think the richest UK
In
person that there
England,
is.
yeah.
Exactly, and I think obviously there was a pun from obviously McGregor. I don't think Conor McGregor is going to come, but I think Hans-Jörg Weiss is probably the favorite right now. But the issue is I think it will not be him alone because of the 3 billion bid that we are talking. Will only take
Yeah.
it. So just to give you a quick background, Hans-Jörg Weiss is basically a Swiss billionaire, but he's very old. That's one thing. At the same time, he is a person who was primarily responsible for unseating Donald Trump. He has some power for sure, as in, that's what Chelsea is known about, power. But he's trying to team up, I think, with Todd Bowley. I'm not too sure about what his background is really, but I think again he's an investor. So if there are just maybe two investors,
But do you want US owners also to come in?
see,
Or
I don't mind as long as there is at least one person who kind of has been in the European football, as in space very much. And at the same time, I don't want a case where there's an entire board that basically, hedge funds. We are talking about basically it being,
yeah,
distributed over, say, a team of say 10 people, and we have a board meeting, and the Kronk case. We don't want such a kind of scenario at all. I don't mind having just like partnership of two, that is still better because at least you can have say 50-50 probability of a success there, but if you're not having that, it's difficult. But I think more than the owners, we need the question for me is about the second management and of course the players right now. Like we've spoken about Petr Bruce Buck, Marina Granovskaya, and of course Aspilicueta, Alonso. I would put Jorginho, Rudiger, Christensen. Yes, already a couple of them have been touted to go, they are favorites, but things have changed in the last 24 hours. And if they're really bleeding blue, they
but to
need to
think
understand.
Alonso has outlasted Roman Abramovich. I mean,
No, no,
just
I'll
a
tell you
joke,
the
but
reason.
to
I'll tell you the reason now, Vineet. The reason
yeah,
is now we spoke about winning mentality. That's what Roman brought. That ambition was there. I fear the worst because the fact that if in case, say, even those players leave who have been in the DNA of the club for the last 7-8 years or last 5 years, whatever,
yeah,
if they leave as well as Roman leaves, that kind of that pressure, untold pressure. It wasn't like Tuchel was told that is pressure. I'm pretty sure his first conference, he said that I'm here to win. I am here to create a team that no one wants to play against, and that is what
yeah,
Chelsea football has become. It's not about Roman telling it or Aspilicueta telling it at a team meeting, but their presence would make that happen. And that's what I'm fearing, that if that doesn't happen, and at the end of the day, these are all players, are all what 25 to 30-year-old youngsters, and trust me, it's only human for them to kind of go easy, and they're already going easy in the league. So I don't think we can afford an Aspilicueta, especially as the captain that he is right now. I would want to stick Aspilicueta at least, Alonso even for at least one more year as backups if they're okay with that role.
yeah. You obviously need those players who can, come in and fight for the club. And what we have seen Rudiger do that, Aspilicueta do that. Alonso at times, I think he was a really good player,
Yeah, yeah,
against
it's only for the
Liverpool.
dressing room. Only for the dressing room. It's
Yeah,
not on the. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean that Alonso is the best wing back all of a
yeah,
sudden after the
yeah,
Carabao Cup final.
yeah.
Yeah, at
I
least the
mean,
spine has to kind of remain the same. If the spine
Exactly.
also goes, then we are again kind of rebuilding from scratch. Which yes, we do
I
have
think
so many
that is what
Indian
happened with
players.
Arsenal. That is what happened with Arsenal.
Exactly.
The players they had, Bergkamp, Henry, Perez,
They
everyone,
broke
all
out
of
the
a sudden,
Invincibles within two years or something.
exactly, they became the Invincibles. The whole core group left, and then all of a sudden, the club we see is now fighting for the top four. Right now, Chelsea is back in the top four contention, but you know, Chelsea were favorites. No one guided Arsenal as favorites. No one guided Spurs as favorites. That is what maybe Liverpool, City, Chelsea brought. That title favorites every season, regardless of who the manager is. And let's see how it goes on. Uh, Ankit, yeah, I think thanks for coming on. You have another stream I think you need to attend. So
Yeah, yeah. I
thanks
just
for
need
coming
to
on
jump on.
such a
No,
short
no.
notice.
It's always
So
good to discuss Chelsea and of course football. But like I always say, Almighty Blues FC fan channel for all to see. So hopefully you guys also come on, and we have
yeah,
positive discussions going forward. I know a lot more news is going to come in the next few days, weeks, whatever it
yeah,
is. But yeah, as in I would just say keep the blue flag flying, and thanks for having me again.
yeah. So guys, don't forget to follow him on social media and as well visit his YouTube channel. Lots of content of football and other stuff as well. So do subscribe to your channel as well. So Ankit, thanks. Have a good night.
Same to
Bye,
you
Ankit.
guys. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Bye.
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 So let's just quickly continue the discussion about the new owners. If Som, you had a choice, who would that be?
See, if I had a choice, I won't go for an American owner any day because I
You
know of
will
how
go
they.
for an American owner.
No, I will never go for an
Acha.
American owner because see, they are only there to increase their profit shares, and we
Yeah,
know what they did to United. They plucked out all the money from the club and then they settled. They did the business out of it. That's not we don't want, right? Because Chelsea Football Club is just an not an just a club. It's an emotion for all the club fans. We need such kind of a owner who is passionate about the club, who knows how a club is worked. We don't want someone who to tell us that A plus B equals to C. We know that. We need someone who will take us together for the next 50, 60 years together. Matlab,
yeah,
who can understand the club very well. See, I do not see what I might be hypothetical here. I was thinking about what if Roman decides to sell to his best friend or someone like that, and he comes out of the picture again that I'm the owner. It's
yeah.
not going
I
to
mean,
happen.
but seeing all that and seeing English media already going up his throats,
Yeah.
I think that's almost impossible to
So
talk about.
or else he might consider saying he'll say that decided to come out of my company. I'll fund on my own. He can do that also. That's also possible. But see,
But it's again,
we,
it's what has been talked about is not the way he
yeah,
has put in funds, but him being a Russian and a close ally of Vladimir Putin,
yeah,
and the money he has generated, which he has pumped into Chelsea. So I think that is what troubles everyone, especially the English
yeah.
people, English media.
Yes, that's right. The realistic, if you want to take my opinion, I will go for a shake owners. At least they would kind of plug in money because they know what kind of people. At least they
Yeah.
would be better than Americans in that sense.
I mean,
I
Because
every
think
we
even
know,
billionaire has
Prasanna will
done
agree.
something steady to get there. You don't be a billionaire by working hard. I can tell you that. Even if you're on a six-figure salary, even if you work for 10, 15 years or something, it's hard to see a million, let alone billion. And you
hmm,
see them with so many billions. And if you say they're working hard, then I'm sorry, that does not go hand in hand.
they see everyone who is in the business, regardless that they are doing some kind of unethical work also. I don't want to go into
Exactly.
that, but it is at least those people who will be sell it, at least they should have a pride of buying this club, and at least they know what they are buying for.
Yeah, and not only for business purposes, but
Only for
you
business
know,
purpose. Because see,
yeah,
we have seen business purposes in the past. What happened for the past? You see, the best example is Arsenal. What happened to them? United, suffering since Alex Ferguson left. Sir, Alex Ferguson left. We have seen them suffering. Still, they are suffering.
you can
They're
even
not
see
doing.
Hopefully, we
Newcastle.
don't go
You can
down
even
that
see
route again.
Newcastle.
Like what United went after Fergie when he created an absolute dynasty, and the minimum that after that his minimum requirement for any United manager for that point was to win the Premier League.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
now hopefully we don't go down that route. I'm just hoping that the new owner who comes cares for the club. He puts Chelsea first and not others,
Hmm.
and he should basically have the same ambition of Roman. He has to
Yeah.
win trophies because if the owner doesn't have ambition, then the points downwards, the management, the players, and the
yeah,
fans, they will also kind of follow the same route. So it has to start from the top and go all the way to the bottom. That's what Roman had. The man he wanted to win, the management wanted to win, the players wanted to win, and even the fans, even we wanted to win. We um, all of them were ruthless from top to bottom. But the goal is only one thing: to win, and
To
that
win.
should not change.
That should never change. See what needs to be done now is that at least we need to these players, develop these players because what is happening is now see Rudiger, Aspilicueta, Jorginho, Kante, who are into their late 30s respectively, need to take up that leadership role and tell the younger players that okay, these things do happen in football. Remain focused because what will happen is that suddenly there's a new owner. And then suddenly, if these people leave, there will be a lack of trust in Chelsea, which we do not want to happen. See what happened when we had a transfer ban. We did have players like Lewis and Willian. We did have players like Willian and Willian was there, then Aspilicueta was there. We had players, but we missed a leader. We missed players like Cahill that time, who
Yeah,
could have been a more influential that time. Similarly, now if we lose a player like Rudiger or an Aspilicueta in the summer window, that's going to hit us very hard. See, Thiago Silva is there to stay. He has already signed an extension. That's not going to change. But we need one more leader in the dressing room who can keep the dressing room alive. Thiago Silva is such a kind of leader. He'll show aggression on the pitch, but off the pitch we need a leader. And somewhat feel like Rudiger is on the off the field excellent leader for the club
yeah,
who can carry the because see we need players who can play for this, not for the we need players for the badge who know what is like to play for the badge. We don't no, need players like someone like Morata who are just caring about a personal image. If it falls, he will just oh god and all the stuff. We need players who know how to play for the badge, who respect the badge. We had players like Terry, Lampard, who cared for the badge and they knew what is the responsibility. If they fall down, they'll again try to get up, and that's because
yeah,
they have a passion towards a badge. We need such kind of players, and I guess Rudiger is one of those people. He
yeah.
genuinely cares for this club, man.
So, on to the last question now.
Yeah, I mean,
So on
even saying
yeah,
that players like Rudiger, Aspilicueta, even though their contracts are running down, it doesn't look like the way they are playing. It doesn't look like their contracts are running down. They are looking like they have stayed at they have signed a 3 or 4 year extension, and
Exactly.
with a big pay raise, and that's the thing. So I just hope we sign them on. Although there are talks that there was talks with Rudiger, definitely in Madrid, all these big wages, even Aspi, him to Barca. I just hope we can keep hold of them, so at least we maintain the spine of the team and we can build around them.
yeah,
See
yeah,
that is for the media, right? Because see, it's a World Cup year. Everyone would like to have the players, and see, players would also like to have higher wages going to the World Cup. Because World Cup is coming up very soon in November, December. So players would be looking at it's a nice chance to get him forward in a good team where we can settle on and we can directly get selected for the national team.
yeah. True.
Because see, Aspilicueta wants to come back to his national team. Rudiger has already established himself in the national team, but whereas Aspilicueta has lost his place recently to his national team, which he would like to come bounce back. And if he plays for Spain, at least he will be considered it as a option because if you see really, they prefer players from La Liga itself, the Spanish coach.
Yeah. So, like what happens, we'll just need to wait and see. Obviously, few things we have had clarity on, and few things where we will have some clarity on in the coming few days. But the last question I want to pose for both of you all, Prasanna, you can go first. Who like if you had one word to describe the Roman Abramovich era, what would that be?
One word is can't find the maybe the exact word, but to say him like he wa- um he is a man of ambition. As simply put, you cannot put anything else.
Yeah,
He put the club first before anything else, because any other businessman would have said that I need to get paid my 2 billion, because and that could have really crippled the club, to be honest, because
yeah,
2 billion is not a small amount. And I mean, the amount he has pumped in from the start, because 140 million at that time in 2003, how much is it worth? How much is it actually now? That would be another thing. And he's always a person who wants to win. He will not compromise anything. If anything goes wrong at Cobham, first thing in the morning, his helicopter will land. And when his helicopter lands, you know that shit is going left. And that's the
yeah.
thing. So, and he's
I
an
think
old,
ambitious wraps it up. The ambitious wraps it up for the Roman Abramovich era. So, if you wanted to say one word other than ambitious, because we all can agree on that.
He's the best Valentine gift anyone can have.
Can you just clarify that?
Because see, he's loved by one and all. Because he's loved by a toddler to a old age man. He's loved by everyone. He genuinely cares for the club. That's why he's the best Valentine gift Chelsea ever had.
Right.
Unfortunately, the love story
Nicely
is
put
just
it.
ended.
Yeah. Possibly for Chelsea fan feels like that, a big love story which has ended, and it hurts like anything for almost every Chelsea fan. But like I said before, we have to move on. It's the club now we have to focus on, and not the guys running it. It's the badge we keep supporting. So, Soham, Prasanna, thank you so much for coming on. And
Same here.
it was all about Chelsea tonight. Obviously, the whole media has been about Chelsea and Roman Abramovich for the past 1 week, and I think we had to just do an episode on this. So, thank you so much for coming on again.
Just one
And
thing before we all
yeah,
start. Here this ESPN network, they post kind of regular stuff on their channel, ESPN FC. I genuinely
yeah,
think they have something against Chelsea, to be honest. I mean, because when Liverpool they won the Club World Cup, they were like, oh, they're the best team in the world. Bayern Munich are the best team in the world. And then when Chelsea win it, you've got people like Craig Burley saying, oh, it's something a plastic trophy. They're still
yeah,
sitting further
yeah.
behind in the league. And even
That is
yesterday,
why we just spoke about English media upfront itself when Soham rightly said that
yeah, even
it's
yesterday when we had to play a back shift defense, and they were like, what is wrong with Chelsea's defense? Why are they conceding goals? I'm like, duh.
I
So
mean,
I do understand.
it's a
I do.
topic for another day. I mean, players, media, we can keep on talking about because it will keep happening with Chelsea regardless of who is running the club. So
So can I
let's
give a
see how it goes.
Can I give a shout out to everyone here?
Yes, yes, you can.
So guys who have just heard us, so if you would like to hear more about us, do join Fanspire page, and you can connect with us at Chelsea Thane Blues Instagram, and on DM us if you would like to be a member of the ever growing fan club in Thane.
Yeah, they have, like just to mention, they have lots of screenings, especially the big matches like you had for the Carabao Cup final
Yes,
recently.
yes.
And you just mentioned before the show you had people from the ages of 5 to almost 50, 60, and you know like the diversity currently for Chelsea fans.
Yes. See, we are growing a fan club in India. We want to grow more, and it's not going to happen without the support of you also. Please do join us. We'd like to take
Yeah.
you all, and we would like to see you all soon, because we have a screening coming up very soon against Arsenal, which we are going to enjoy, I guess, with a full house of 100 and 200.
It's
Because we
going to
just
be
had a screen.
something different now.
Yes, because we are going to celebrate Roman's thing, and we are going to celebrate Chelsea birthday also together.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, that. So thanks, Om, for coming on and obviously talking about your fan club and the fans. This is what we aspire at Fanspire. The name itself, it's about the
yes,
fans for the fans. Prasanna, obviously you have been a regular on our channel, so thank you again for coming on. Whenever called upon, you're always there. So
you can call us
thank,
also.
yeah, for sure, for sure. For sure. Obviously, like I mentioned, and Soam did mention again now, don't forget to follow them and, DM them for the membership and screenings and stuff. And obviously, do follow Prasanna on his social media as well and YouTube channel. Subscribe to him. And, all of us can just be fans together and enjoy being in the moment. So thanks
Yes,
everyone. Have a good night and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more weekly sports content as you all can see, and obviously our social media handles which you must be aware about. So thank you so much. Have a good night.
same here.
yeah,
Bye.
man, take care.
Cheers. Bye.
See you.
Bye.